My name is Emily Jackson. I'm 24 years old. I'm a wife, a mother, a world champion, and professional kayaker.
Today, I'm here to talk to you all about compromise. To compromise is to accept standards lower than desirable. If this is one of the definitions of compromise, then why do we do it to the things most important to us? I don't have a normal job, never went to college, got married at 19, had a kid at 23, still live with my parents, and travel in a van for 10 months out of the year, down by a river. To many, this sounds reckless, immature, and by most society standards, unsuccessful. So what does to live without compromise mean? To live without compromise means to work towards what's most important to you, regardless of what other people think. To focus on the great things you can do, not the few things you can't. And to embrace the power and freedom to live life your way, every day. I'm a two-time freestyle kayak world champion, happily married mother to an amazing husband, homeowner, world traveler, now a TED talker, and manage over 100 incredibly talented athletes. This is my life without compromise. It all started the day my parents stopped constantly comparing themselves to those around them. Now, my dad always walked to his own beat and still struts around in a bright pink Speedo at the ripe age of 50. My mother, on the other hand, who married my father at 18, only ever wanted what was best for her family. And compared to those around us in downtown Bethesda, Maryland, we always fell a little short in a lot of areas. This led to a strained relationship where my parents started compromising their own happiness in hopes of staying together. That all changed the day they sat down and asked each other a question. What is most important to you? My dad said kayaking, my mom having the whole family together, including my dad. Then it dawned on them they could have what was most important to them and stay together. It just meant trimming the fat. By the end of the next month, the house was gone, along with our car, my brother and I's toys, dance recitals, public school, and all that was left was a 32-foot Winnebago RV, my dad's kayaks, and the family. We were living our dream. Having spent several years, a real dream, yeah. Having spent several years in a cookie-cutter lifestyle, my parents had fallen trapped to society's illusions of what made people successful and happy, and had forgotten to work towards what mattered the most to them. Thanks to my parents, I grew up off the basis of a life without compromise, but didn't have a true appreciation for it until I was sitting in a river getting ready to compete in the biggest event of the year. My son Tucker was due to be born in only 3 weeks. My family and friends were cheering for me on the sidelines, and I had paddled and competed throughout my entire pregnancy, something even I didn't even know I was capable of. For me, competition has always been about the opportunity to showcase ability, but never define it, so I thrive off being in a spotlight. This time, it was a little different. I got heckled left and right for paddling pregnant, putting my son at risk, and ultimately being really selfish. At times, I even questioned myself, mainly after reading senseless comments on online forums. Earlier in the season, I paid such close attention to what people were saying about me that I was embarrassed to be in my kayak and perform poorly because of it. Why should I let random people determine what's best for me or my son? Being in the water felt right to me and was approved by my multiple doctors. At 198 pounds, very little muscle or torque was needed for me to throw my small kayak around. I could still perform smaller, low-scoring tricks. Just so happy to be in the water and so close to meeting my son, I hit the wave and did as many of these small tricks as possible, taking over the first place position doing so. For me, this was an oh my God moment. If I just focus, for me, this is an oh my God moment. If I just focus on what's most important to me and not those around me, I will be my absolute best. By not compromising what is most important to me, I will always feel successful, regardless of where I'm sitting on a podium. So what is it in life that causes us to compromise the things most important to us? I have found it to be constant comparisons. When we become fixated on comparing ourselves to those around us, we lose track of what's truly important to us. When I was pregnant, I only felt good about my body after seeing another image of a pregnant celebrity really not looking their best. Afterwards, I felt so out of shape seeing what the celebrities look like post-baby. You can never truly win when your only goal is to be better by comparison. Social media allows us to compare ourselves to champions in every area of life at any given point, leaving us feeling inadequate and hopeless. Each one of us has a different set of priorities or goals. I call them our priority lists. Why should I compare myself to anyone, let alone random celebrities, when my own set of priorities and goals are so very different? We are all very different. In kayaking and most outdoor sports, I find women so busy competing and constantly comparing with each other that they forget to celebrate their own personal victories and end up losing passion for their sports. As a mother, I'm gauging my son's growth and success off other kids around him. Don't I want to encourage my son to be his very best? As a wife, I overlook the small, amazing things my husband does for me because compared to something I saw in a movie, it fell a little short. Constantly comparing ourselves leaves us with unrealistic expectations and makes all our successes and victories feel way smaller because compared to someone else out there, it really wasn't as big a deal. I know I am compromising myself when I work late, clean for hours but never work out, please other people but don't take time for myself or my husband, Nick. When I see myself doing these things, I know it's time to take a step back and ask myself that simple question: what is most important to me? I'll tell you, my husband and son, my family, kayaking, exercising, and working for my parents' company. But that is just my list. What is most important to you? In order to avoid compromising ourselves, we need to have a clear vision on what's most important to us. I like to keep my list close to 5 things. 5 things gives me enough diversity that I never get burnt out on any one given thing. But it is also short enough that I know what I'm working towards day and night. My list goes in order of importance, and it's how I try to organize my time. Looking back over my week, month, year, I know whether or not I was compromising myself based off what the majority of my time was spent doing. When I'm focused on a priority, I try to dive in and be 100% present. Yes, we choose to grocery shop, pay the bills, visit the dentist, and do other day-to-day activities that may not be on our list, but they are necessities to life, and the weight of them is lifted when the majority of our time is spent on what's truly important to us. By sticking to my list, I feel focused, engaged, unstoppable. I know what I would like to do during my day, and I work hard to make that happen. Balancing what's on your list can be tricky at times, but when you put enough energy and enthusiasm into them, you may even find joy in combining them. When I want to work out but spend time with my husband, I ask him to come for a run. When I want to play with my son but still go kayaking, I take him on the river. Not compromising what's most important to you is possible. It starts with your list. I challenge each of you to write out what you think is the most important for you to feel successful and be happy. Be honest with yourself. Clear your head of what you think your parent, partners, or other outside influences would write. Place your list somewhere obvious until living by it comes naturally. If life leads you away, revisit it and make any changes necessary. Living without compromise takes creativity, bravery, and the ability to stand up for what you truly believe in. And remember, if you are lucky enough to find a way of life that you love, you need to find the courage to live it. John Irving. Thank you.